a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was an Indian politician who served 3 terms as the Prime Minister of India, first for a term of 13 days in 1996, then for a period of 13 months from 1998 to 1999, and finally, for a full term from 1999 to 2004. A member of the Bharatiya Janata Party, he was the first Indian Prime Minister who was not a member of the Indian National Congress Party to have served a full 5-year term in office. He was a member of the Indian Parliament for over 4 decades, having been elected to the Lok Sabha, the lower house, 10 times, and twice to the Rajya Sabha, the upper house. He served as the Member of Parliament for Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh until 2009 when he retired from active politics due to health concerns. Vajpayee was among the founding members of the Bharatiya Jana Sangh, of which he was the president from 1968 to 1972. The BJs merged with several other parties to form the Janata Party, which won the 1977 general election. Vajpayee became the Minister of External Affairs in the cabinet of Prime Minister Morarji Desai. He resigned in 1979, and the Janata alliance collapsed soon after. The erstwhile members of the BJs formed the BJP in 1980, with Vajpayee as its first president. During his tenure as Prime Minister, India carried out the Pokhran-2 nuclear tests in 1998. Vajpayee sought to improve diplomatic relations with Pakistan, travelling to Lahore by bus to meet with Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. After the 1999 Kargil War with Pakistan, he sought to restore relations through engaging with President Pervez Musharraf, inviting him to India for a summit at Agra. He was conferred India's highest civilian honour, the Bharat Ratna, by the President of India, Pranab Mukherjee in 2015. The administration of Narendra Modi declared in 2014 that Vajpayee's birthday, the 25th of December, would be marked as Good Governance Day. He died on the 16th of August 2018 due to age-related illness. Early life and education. Vajpayee was born to Krishna Devi and Krishna Bihari Vajpayee on the 25th of December 1924 in Gwalior. His grandfather, Pandit Shyam Lal Vajpayee, had migrated to Morena, Gwalior from his ancestral village of Bachwar, Uttar Pradesh. His father, Krishna Bihari Vajpayee, was a schoolteacher in his hometown. Vajpayee did his schooling at the Saraswati Shishu Mandir in Gwalior. In 1934, Atal Bihari was admitted to AVM school Banagardas to Jain after his father joined as headmaster. He spoke about his life-changing moment at a public rally on the 1996 Lok Sabha election trail. He said, "But I learned a lesson that changed my life. I took a pledge I'd never learn a speech. It was my first speech at AVM school." He subsequently attended Gwalior's Victoria College and graduated with distinction in Hindi, English, and Sanskrit. He completed his post-graduation with an MA in Political Science from Dav College, Kanpur, and was awarded a first-class degree. His activism started with Arya Kumar Sabha of Gwalior, the youth wing of the Arya Samaj, of which he became the General Secretary in 1944. He also joined the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh as a Swayamsevak, or volunteer, in 1939. Influenced by Babasaheb Apte, he attended the officers' training camp of the RSS during 1940-44 and became a Prakarak, RSS terminology for a full-time worker, in 1947. He gave up studying law due to the partition riots. He was sent as a Vistarak, a probationary Prakarak, to Uttar Pradesh and quickly began working for the newspapers of Deen Dayal Upadhyaya, Rashtradharma, Panchayanya, and the dailies Swadesh and Veerajan. Early political career. By 1942, at the age of 16 years, Vajpayee became an active member of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. In August 1942, he and his elder brother Prem were arrested for 24 days during the Quit India movement. He was released after giving a written undertaking stating that while he was a part of the crowd, he did not participate in the militant events in Bachwar on the 27th of August 1942. In 1951, Vajpayee was seconded by the RSS. along with Deen Dayal Upadhyaya, to work for the newly formed Bharatiya Jana Sangh, a Hindu right-wing political party associated with the RSS. He was appointed as a national secretary of the party in charge of the northern region, based in Delhi. He soon became a follower and aide of party leader Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. In 1954, Vajpayee was with Mukherjee when the latter went on a hunger strike in Kashmir to protest the perceived inferior treatment of non-Kashmiri Indian visitors to the state. Mukherjee died in prison during this strike. In the 1957 Indian general election, Vajpayee contested elections to the Lok Sabha, the lower house of Indian Parliament. He lost to Raja Mahendra Pratap in Mathura, but was elected from Balrampur. In the Lok Sabha, his oratorial skills so impressed Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru that he predicted that Vajpayee would someday become the Prime Minister of India. Vajpayee's oratorial skills won him the reputation of being the most eloquent defender of the Jana Sangh's policies. After the death of Deen Dayal Upadhyaya, the leadership of the Jana Sangh passed to Vajpayee. He became the national president of the Jana Sangh in 1968, running the party along with Nanaji Deshmukh, Balraj Madhuk, and L.K. Advani. Janata and the BJP. In 1975, Vajpayee was arrested along with several other opposition leaders during the internal emergency imposed by Prime Minister Indira Gandhi of the Indian National Congress Party. Initially interned in Bangalore, Vajpayee appealed his imprisonment on the grounds of bad health, and was moved to a hospital in Delhi. Gandhi ended the state of emergency in 1977. A coalition of parties, including the BJs, came together to form the Janata Party, which won the subsequent general elections. Morarji Desai, the chosen leader of the alliance, became the Prime Minister. Vajpayee served as the Minister of External Affairs, or Foreign Minister, in Desai's cabinet. As Foreign Minister, Vajpayee became the first person in 1977 to deliver a speech to the United Nations General Assembly in Hindi. Vajpayee resigned from his post in 1979. The Janata Party collapsed soon after Desai resigned as Prime Minister in 1979. The erstwhile members of the Bharatiya Jana Sangh came together to form the Bharatiya Janata Party in 1980, with Vajpayee as its first president. The 1984 general elections were held in the wake of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi's assassination by her Sikh bodyguards. While he had won the 1977 and the 1980 elections from New Delhi, Vajpayee shifted to his hometown Gwalior for the election. Vidya Razdan was initially tipped to be the Congress candidate. Instead, Madhavu Shinde, scion of the Gwalior royal family, was brought in on the last day of filing nominations. Vajpayee lost to Shinde, managing to secure only 29% of the votes. Under Vajpayee, the BJP moderated the Hindu nationalist position of the Jana Sangh, emphasizing its connection to the Janata Party and expressing support for Gandhian socialism. The ideological shift did not bring it success. Gandhi's assassination generated sympathy for the Congress, leading to a massive victory at the polls. The BJP won only 2 seats in Parliament. Vajpayee offered to quit as party president following BJP's dismal performance in the election, but stayed in the post until 1986. He was elected to the Rajya Sabha in 1986 from Madhya Pradesh, and was briefly the leader of the BJP in Parliament. In 1986, Leaders K. Advani took office as president of the BJP. Under him, the BJP returned to a policy of hardline Hindu nationalism. It became the political voice of the Ram Janmabhoomi Mandir movement, which sought to build a temple dedicated to the Hindu deity Rama in Ayodhya. The temple would be built at a site believed to be the birthplace of Rama after demolishing a 16th-century mosque, called the Babri Masjid, which then stood there. The strategy paid off for the BJP. It won 86 seats in the Lok Sabha in the 1989 general election, making its support crucial to the government of VP Singh. In December 1992, a group of religious volunteers led by members of the BJP, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh and the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, tore down the mosque. The BJP's role in the movement led to major political gains. First term, May 1996. During a BJP conference in Mumbai in November 1995, BJP President Advani declared that Vajpayee would be the party's prime ministerial candidate in the forthcoming elections. Vajpayee himself was reported to be unhappy with the announcement, responding by saying that the party needed to win the election first. The BJP became the single largest party in parliament in the 1996 general election, helped by religious polarization across the country as a result of the demolition of the Babri Masjid. Indian President Shankar Dayal Sharma invited Vajpayee to form the government. Vajpayee was sworn in as the 10th Prime Minister of India, but the BJP failed to muster a majority among members of the Lok Sabha. Vajpayee resigned after 13 days when it became clear that he did not have enough support to form a government. Second term, 1998-1999. After the fall of the two United Front governments between 1996 and 1998, the Lok Sabha was dissolved and fresh elections were held. The 1998 general elections again put the BJP ahead of others. A number of political parties joined the BJP to form the National Democratic Alliance, and Vajpayee was sworn in as the Prime Minister. The coalition was an uneasy one, as apart from the Shiv Sena, none of the other parties espoused the BJP's Hindu nationalist ideology. Vajpayee has been credited for managing this coalition successfully, while facing ideological pressure from the hardline wing of the party, and from the RSS. Vajpayee's government lasted 13 months until mid-1999 when the All India Anna Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam under Jayalalitha withdrew its support. The government lost the ensuing vote of confidence motion in the Lok Sabha by a single vote on the 17th of April 1999, as the opposition was unable to come up with the numbers to form the new government. The Lok Sabha was again dissolved and fresh elections were held. Nuclear tests. In May 1998, India conducted 5 underground nuclear tests in the Pokhran Desert in Rajasthan, 24 years after its first nuclear test in 1974. 2 weeks later, Pakistan responded with its own nuclear tests, making it the newest nation with declared nuclear capability. While some nations, such as France, endorsed India's right to defensive nuclear power, others including the United States, Canada, Japan, Britain and the European Union imposed sanctions on information, resources and technology to India. In spite of intense international criticism and steady decline in foreign investment and trade, the nuclear tests were popular domestically. In effect, the international sanctions imposed failed to sway India from weaponizing its nuclear capability. US sanctions against India and Pakistan were eventually lifted after just 6 months. Lahore Summit. In late 1998 and early 1999, Vajpayee began a push for a full-scale diplomatic peace process with Pakistan. With the historic inauguration of the Delhi-Lahore bus service in February 1999, Vajpayee initiated a new peace process aimed towards permanently resolving the Kashmir dispute and other conflicts with Pakistan. The resultant Lahore Declaration espoused a commitment to dialogue, expanded trade relations, and mutual friendship and envisaged a goal of denuclearized South Asia. This eased the tension created by the 1998 nuclear tests, not only within the two nations, but also in South Asia and the rest of the world. AIADMK's withdrawal from coalition. The Vajpayee-led government was faced with two crises in mid-1999. The AIADMK had continually threatened to withdraw from the coalition, and national leaders repeatedly flew down from Delhi to Chennai to pacify the AIADMK chief Jayalalitha. However, in May 1999, the AIADMK did pull the plug on the NDA, and the Vajpayee administration was reduced to a caretaker status pending fresh elections scheduled for October 1999. Kargil War. In May 1999, some Kashmiri shepherds discovered the presence of militants and non-uniformed Pakistani soldiers in the Kashmir Valley, where they had taken control of border hilltops and unmanned border posts. The incursion was centered around the town of Kargil, but also included the Batalik and Akanor sectors and artillery exchanges at the Sukhum Glacier. The Indian Army responded with Operation Vijay, which launched on the 26th of May 1999. This saw the Indian military fighting thousands of militants and soldiers in the midst of heavy artillery shelling and while facing extremely cold weather, snow, and treacherous terrain at the high altitude. Over 500 Indian soldiers were killed in the 3-month-long Kargil War, and it is estimated around 604,000 Pakistani militants and soldiers died as well. India pushed back the Pakistani militants and Northern Light Infantry soldiers. Almost 70% of the territory was recaptured by India. Vajpayee sent a secret letter to U.S. President Bill Clinton that if Pakistani infiltrators did not withdraw from the Indian territory, we will get them out, one way or the other, meaning he did not rule out crossing the line of control, or was the use of nuclear weapons. After Pakistan suffered heavy losses, and with both the United States and China refusing to condone the incursion or threaten India to stop its military operations, General Musharraf was recalcitrant and Nawaz Sharif asked the remaining militants to stop and withdraw to positions along the Lok. The militants were not willing to accept orders from Sharif, but the NLI soldiers withdrew. The militants were killed by the army or forced to withdraw in skirmishes which went beyond the announcement of withdrawal by Pakistan. 1999-2002. In the 1999 general elections, the BJP-led NDA won 303 seats out of the 543 seats in the Lok Sabha, in the aftermath of the Kargil operations, thereby securing a comfortable and stable majority. On 13 October 1999, Vajpayee took oath as Prime Minister of India for the third time. A national crisis emerged in December 1999, when Indian Airlines flight IC-814 from Kathmandu to New Delhi was hijacked by 5 terrorists and flown to Taliban-ruled Afghanistan. The hijackers made several demands, including the release of certain terrorists like Masood Azhar from prison. Under extreme pressure, the government ultimately caved in. Jaswant Singh, the Minister of External Affairs at the time, flew with the terrorists to Afghanistan and exchanged them for the passengers. In March 2000, Bill Clinton, the President of the United States, paid a state visit to India. This was the first state visit to India by a U.S. president in 22 years since President Jimmy Carter's visit in 1978. President Clinton's visit was hailed as a significant milestone in relations between the two nations. Vajpayee and Clinton had wide-ranging discussions on bilateral, regional and international developments. The visit led to expansion in trade and economic ties between India and the United States. A vision document on the future course of Indo-US relations was signed during the visit. Domestically, the BJP-led government was under constant pressure from its ideological mentor, the RSS, and the hardline VHP to enact the Hindutva agenda. But owing to its dependence on coalition support, it was impossible for the BJP to push items like building the Ram Janmabhoomi temple in Ayodhya, repealing Article 370 which gave a special status to the state of Kashmir, or enacting a uniform civil code applicable to adherents of all religions. On 17 January 2000, there were reports of the RSS and some BJP hardliners threatening to restart the Jana Sangh, the precursor to the BJP, because of their discontent over Vahayi's rule. Former president of the Jana Sangh Balraj Madhuk had written a letter to the then RSS chief Rajendra Singh for support. The BJP was, however, accused of saffronizing the official state education curriculum and apparatus, saffron being the color of the RSS flag of the RSS, and a symbol of the Hindu nationalism movement. Home Minister L.K. Advani and Human Resource Development Minister Murli Manohar Joshi were indicted in the 1992 Babri Mosque demolition case for inciting a mob of activists. Vajpayee himself came under public scrutiny owing to his controversial speech one day prior to the mosque demolition. These years were accompanied by infighting in the administration and confusion regarding the direction of government. Vahayi's weakening health was also a subject of public interest, and he underwent a major knee replacement surgery at the Breach Candy Hospital in Mumbai to relieve intense pressure upon his legs. In March 2001, the Telka Group released a sting operation video named Operation West End, which showed BJP President Bangaru Laxman, senior army officers and NDA members accepting bribes from journalists posing as agents and businessmen. The Defense Minister George Fernandez was forced to resign following the Barak missile scandal involving the botched supplies of coffins for the soldiers killed in Kargil, and the findings of an inquiry commission that the government could have prevented the Kargil invasion. Vajpayee initiated talks with Pakistan and invited Pakistani President Pervez Musharraf to Agra for a joint summit, the Agra Summit. President Musharraf was believed in India to be the principal architect of the Kargil War. By accepting him as the President of Pakistan, Vajpayee chose to move forward. But after 3 days of much fanfare, which included Musharraf visiting his birthplace in Delhi, the summit failed to achieve a breakthrough as President Musharraf declined to leave aside the issue of Kashmir. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?